Good morning, pilgrims, on day 16 on the Camino Francés in reverse. Leaving this city, huge. It's gonna take a while, like 8 kilometers just to get out, just like it took to get in. And last night, man, the sounds of the Albergue. Yes, at night, the creatures of the night make their presence. It was quite the night, but at least it was warm. What else? We got a short, not so much short, medium size, 24-25 kilometer day to Reliegos. Do I remember Reliegos on my first Camino? It is 3 degrees Celsius, which is like 38 Fahrenheit, super cold, 7:30. I had to get out super fast. Now I'm looking for a place to have breakfast, but there's so much city to go through that I'm sure I'll find a place. Woo. This series is sponsored by Rejuvenate Advanced Vitality Cream. Moisturize your skin. Gentle, no irritants. Rejuvenate, where nature meets science. Found one bar open. I had a café con leche and a tortilla española right across from the Roman bridge as you're about to enter the town. Okay, so I was supposed to get a haircut, but yesterday was Sunday and everything was either closed or fully booked. So excuse my hair for the next few weeks because I don't think I'll be able to do it until Burgos, if I get lucky over there. And just looking at the weather forecast, La Meseta is the coldest part in the entire country. But at least we don't have rain, at least not in the foreseeable future. Maybe next week, we'll see. Well, there you have it. Goodbye, León, until the next one. Yes, sir. And now we have a small climb next to this road to their version of Home Depot and the runabout up there. Oof. El corte inglés, the English cut. I'm so sorry, my English friends, but in Cuba, that's what we call when we step on dog poop. By the way, yesterday I finalized all my reservations from here all the way to St. Jean-Pied-de-Port and then back 3 nights in Pamplona, except for one little town. Can you guess it? It is the town of Zubiri. That is such a hard place always to find accommodations. The problem is everybody starts together in St. Jean-Pied-de-Port. Like most people go all the way to Roncesvalles, where they have that huge, massive albergue. And then the next logical stage will be Zubiri. And Zubiri, I don't think has the support to take in that many pilgrims. So I tried to book on bookings. Everything was full. I made a few phone calls. Everything is full. So my only option is to stay at the municipal, which has a ton of beds, but from Zubiri to Pamplona, it's a very nice downhill descent. From Pamplona to Zubiri is a different animal altogether. It's actually, the hardest day is gonna be from Zubiri to Roncesvalles. That day is gonna be a massive climb. We're talking about like 700 meters or so. And then from Roncesvalles to St. Jean-Pied-de-Port, we have that climb, not even to the border. I think it's gonna be short and steep, of course, but the majority of the day is gonna be coming down. When you leave St. John on your first day, you have to climb, I think it's like 1,500 meters, steadily, all the way up there, just before the border with Spain, And then in the forest is where you make the final descent. Well, that descent is gonna be my climb. Adding it, of course, to the climb from Subiri to Roncesvalles. Highway, yep, climbing. And just like that, I changed the course of a river. There's a split here on the Camino, which is sort of new. I saw it for the first time when I did it on the e-bike in 2022. Now, the original Camino, the one that I did in 2017, goes that way. It has to go over that hill, and you get views of the industrial park on your left down below. But then for some reason here, they are pushing people now officially to go through the industrial park just to avoid a small hill. I don't like that. I met a subscriber here at the split. I was talking to John from Wisconsin, and I was telling him all about how this was, what I just told you. And then he went that way, and kind of everybody sort of started following there. And now we got like 10 or 15 people up ahead and nobody here. So there goes to show you that one man can change the course of a river, or at least the Camino. Okay, now we're walking on this dirt path away from the industrial section, but just barely. I'm definitely hitting the bubble hard in Albergue. Look at that, like 15 people ahead of me. What's going on here? Maybe, just maybe, it's since that yesterday and the day before I was doing the section on the road and the Camino kind of split there. Some people went left, some people went right, but here they're all together. I'm noticing more and more people as the days go by. Up ahead in the town of Mansilla de las Mulas, we have the union of two Caminos and a variant. The Camino Francés, of course, the Camino Reliegos Vanidiencia, which has been on my list for the longest time. I was going to do it in 2021, but bad weather prevented me from doing it. But I will do it for sure sometime in the future. And lastly, it is the Roman road. It takes a right turn right after the halfway point on the Camino, Sahagún, and then it connects here in Mansilla de las Mulas. I wanted to take that because on this Camino, I've been trying to do all the alternative routes, but I can't because it would be such a long day today. And I already have a reservation in Reliegos, and also I'm not doing 2 stages in one. Those days are long behind me now. But the Camino Reliegos Vanidiencia, yes, definitely. By the way, yesterday and the day before, I didn't meet anybody during the Via de la Plata heading to León to start the San Salvador, which is sad because the San Salvador is such a great Camino, and connecting it with the Primitivo, oof, that was just incredible. It's so nice to see that they're finally building a sidewalk for us walkers here, because this section in Villamayor has always been perilous. Walking on the shoulder, usually on the other side, but now I can see that they just laid the concrete. This is new, so this is an exclusive, you might say, for this season. I also stopped by in Villarente, where the bridge is, at a cafe, just to have my mid-morning snack and to see the last of the pilgrims pass by, the last of the bubble, because I'm still seeing pilgrims up ahead. That's how it goes. Temperature is rising, so is the sun, and I got just a little section to Mansilla, hacer las mulas, and then Reliegos. It is already 1 o'clock and I'm in Mansillas de las Mulas with its medieval walls that every time I pass by I see a little bit more of it, and I'm surprised that I have never stayed here before. I always pass through. What do we have here? The Camino Lebaniego, didn't I tell you guys? There it is, the starting point. I guess it will be where these statues are located, which are so emblematic of the Camino, with the tired pilgrims taking a quick break. I should do the same, right? This guy is passed out. All right, the last push to Reliegos is not too far away from here, so let's get there. I already stopped at a bar. It's kind of early for lunch, so I just had a rattler and a few pinchos. One was included and I paid for the other two. Definitely hitting a second bubble on the way out of Mansilla de las Mulas. And while I was flying the drone, I met Peter from England, a subscriber, and we got to talk there a little bit. He's the second one of the day, and I think there's a couple waiting for me in Reliegos, and it's gonna make today's afternoon that much better. It is that time of the day when I need to take off my fleece jacket, my last layer of defense against the cold. I only have two, because the sun is kicking and it's warming up. Oh yes. Man, this section here with all these yellow flowers is the most beautiful that I've seen it in all of my trips. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the Meseta in a new way. Woo. It reminds me a lot of the Via de la Plata when I started in Sevilla. That whole section with the spring flowers, that was the best part of the Via de la Plata. So if I can have a repeat here on the Francés, see the Meseta in a new light, oh, that would be all the better. Let's go see. I see it and I don't believe it. The first pilgrim walking with me in that direction. He's a French pilgrim. He did the Camino Francés to Santiago, went down to Fatima, came back up to Santiago, and he's going back to France to his house. Wow, man. He's fully loaded. He's got everything that you may think of. This section, by the way, is just gorgeous. I'm really loving this yellow flowers here on both sides of the trail. He looks so alive. I think in the summertime, this whole area kind of looks dead, but I like the way it looks right now. Or maybe it's just that when I do this section, it's pitch black and I barely see anything. So it's good, it's good. This is also the start of the famous Stairmaster section, which you can see behind me and in front. We're gonna have the path like this, I think for a day or two. It's just the same over and over again, monotonous but gorgeous now. So here I am at the Albergue, which happens to be a vegan place, which I don't mind. I can eat vegetables. I eat everything. The only thing is that I got a top bunk bed and this place seems to be full. There's very little space for anything. But at least I got an outlet, so that's always good. Nice. I've been here already in this town 3 times, so I tried 3 different hotels. This one looks pretty cool. Let's see how that meal is. All right, my cover is blown completely. 2 subscribers staying in the same albergue as me, and when they saw me, they freaked out, so everybody turned their attention. And there are 2 others in town, so that's what, 4, 5, 6 today. Today is the most that I've seen so far, and I think the closer and closer I get to St. John, the more people I'm gonna meet, which is it's great. This is just totally different for me. I'm not used to being recognized out here, and to be recognized every single day, multiple times, I'm gonna have to get used to it. Reliegos. This town never ceases to amaze me. I don't know if you remember, but on my first Camino, I crash landed here. Yes, I did. I started walking that day from Terradillos de Templarios. I was heading to El Burgo Ranero. And when I got there, everything was fully booked, and I had to continue walking an extra 13 kilometers to this place because there's nothing in between. So that was my longest day ever. up until recently at 42 kilometers. And now I went out to get just something to eat, a bite to eat or drink, And I went to the restaurant or the bar that's at the entrance of town, and it was closed. I went to the supermarket. There was a big line in there, and it was like a tiny supermarket. So I decided, you know what? Let me keep looking. And I saw a sign saying Albergue and restaurant and bar this way. So I'm like, let me give it a try. I headed over there. It's called La Parada. And just as I go in and I order a tinto de verano, I meet Lisa there and her husband, John. And we sat there and talk about the Camino, about trails from all over the world. So it was nice. It was a nice break. And they gave me some trail magic. So Lisa and John are the trail angels of the day for sure. It was nice. It was a nice break. It was a nice break to talk to them. And look at this place that I've been walking through with all this. What are these called? Vineyards? No, not vineyards. These are bodegas. Yes. That's for like storing the wine. And, if there wasn't a burger that looked like this and you get your private rooms like that, I would definitely stay there. It looks like Hobbit Town in a way. Yes. So dinner is going to be at 6 today, which is kind of early for Spain, but that's just perfect for me. And it's going to be vegan. I know that you guys see me eating meat all the time, but I eat the whole spectrum. I don't discriminate. In fact, one of my running jokes is that when I meet vegan people, is that I was vegan for 14 years and their eyes open up and they go, really? And I go, yeah, it's when I used to live in Cuba and we called it communism. Back then, you couldn't find meat anywhere. So yeah, I'll have some vegetables today for dinner. It would be nice. It would be nice for the body. And then tomorrow morning, breakfast is included. Well, including that you pay for it, but it's one of those buffets that I had to get it. I have no choice because I'm sure there's nothing in this town. It's so tiny. And then the next bar might be El Burgo Ranero, if it's open, because I'm starting to notice that at the beginning of the stage in the morning, since I'm going backwards, all the towns, the pilgrims left already, and there's no place to get a drink or a coffee or anything like that. So not until I get to like 10 in the morning do I start finding the bars opening up. That's been the experience so far, but at the same time, right now we're entering the plains, La Meseta, with small villages like this. So I need to gauge it and see how the whole bar situation is in this part of the country. They're telling me, John and Lisa, that they were walking with a bubble, and I've noticed it today. Today's been one of those days where I've seen the most pilgrims, even more so than yesterday. So, and that there are places where they get to a town and everything is booked. So I don't have to worry about that. I got all my accommodations already booked all the way to St. John, except for Subiri. So yeah, we'll see. We'll take it one day at a time. And great. It is 8 o'clock, and look, the sun is still out. Sunset now, it's like around 9, and I just had my vegan meal. My first one on this Camino. I've had them before in other Caminos, but on this one, yeah. I took a picture of a map that shows you all the places along the Camino Francés when you can have vegan food, if that's what you prefer. And what did I have? Well, it all started with salad. It was a massive salad, and then white rice with this stew, and finished it off with fruits. And I had sparkling water because I'm trying to cut down a little bit on the alcohol intake. trying to drink maybe one drink a day, maybe have just one beer and not push it so much. And yeah, by the way, you know where I'm standing? I'm standing in the one place in this town where in the 28th of December 1947, a meteorite crash landed right here in this very spot. The old timers in town still tell tales of when it happened. They say it sounded like a plane just crashed here, and I'm sure it was pretty crazy. The meteorites, or at least the remains of it, are not here. They're in the museum, the Science Museum in Madrid. And if you look at this replica, it's about the size of my fist. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. I already mentioned the trail angels of the day, so I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow on another great day on the Camino Francés in reverse. Tomorrow, I'm heading to one of these towns where I haven't stayed there before. I made a reservation there, of course, and it's gonna be a relatively short day. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, as usual. And yeah, look at that. See ya!